Welcome to this new episode of The Disabled Life. The purpose of this podcast is to tell people how I live my life. The name I'm using on the podcast now is The Disabled Guy, because I felt that you needed to hear something as opposed to just my voice there. I'm a disabled male living in Florida with cerebral palsy. I'm here to tell you how I live my life and some of the volunteer work that I do and how I managed to do it with cerebral palsy. Without further ado, let's go into the episode. Welcome to this special episode of The Disabled Life. I normally do not post on Sunday, but due to being that tomorrow is Father's Day, I decided to post a special episode as a thank you to my father and all the fathers around that help their children as disabled people. Our Father makes us who we are as men, starting when we are teenagers. That's when our personalities come out. So I would like to thank all the fathers that help the disabled and the non-disabled, but mostly the disabled, live their lives, because we need extra help as opposed to others. Other people do not need as much help, but we as disabled, we sometimes need to be lifted, carried, etc. And most of our dads are happy. They're happy to help us live our lives, including maybe do exercise, ride bikes, whatever we need. Sometimes the father will help, because there's things that mom doesn't know how to do. I understand that. I know that. For example, I'm going to give you an example. I can't throw a ball straight because I never threw baseball. I never got the opportunity to sit there and throw a baseball, play baseball. I play t-ball in school, but that's completely different. So, for those of you that are able-bodied and are able to play baseball, gather those times, look at those times, and cherish those times, but there are other things that we do as disabled people with our fathers that you may or may not do. For example, I got the opportunity to go to his job one time. Those are things that we do as people. One day, I want to give you this. One day, what was I doing? I had spoken before in another episode, in a couple of episodes. I spoke before about meeting the Dolphins and going to a close practice. My dad took me to those things. I spoke before about going to see the Miami-Dade City of Miami police station. My dad took me to that too. So these are things that we as disabled people can do, and other things like for example, I got to fly a kite with the help of my dad. How that was done? He would put the kite in the air and give me the handles to fly the kite. Well, that was a way I could do things like that. But I thank my dad for those things. Even though now our relationship is different, but I still say thank you to him for that stuff, those memories. He helped me when I went in Costa Rica. He used to help me, and my uncles too, but mostly him. All of them used to help me get on horses and all those things. Those memories I will always cherish. Thank you. So say thank you, dear. So I thank the fathers on Father's Day for helping us live our lives, as well as moms. And I'm gonna say it. There's a lot of single fathers out there. I admire you as well. I admire you. It is something very important. Today is tomorrow Sunday is Father's Day. I tell you, it is something that we need to do to thank our fathers. Even though, as adults, relationships can change, and that's normal. They can change. That's not a problem. But I say, cherish those memories, please, guys, because one day our parents are not going to be here no more. So cherish those memories. This is something I say. I cherish the memories I have with my father as a child. So it's important to say thank you to them, even though our relationships may change and mature and become different. But I say cherish, because it's important. Thank you, Dad, for the things you do for me and done for me in the past. So I'll say it's important again to share. I decided to do this episode not only to thank my father, but to thank all the other fathers of disabled children and men. Because I say men because I'm a male. So, they help us become men. Sometimes we don't like what they do, what they did in the past as teenagers. But that is the past. That is the past. Live life now. Live life now and let things go. Even though you may not agree or may not agree with what they did in the past, live it now. Things can change. People change. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, but they do change. People evolve and sometimes devolve. So, I would like to know if you could tell me in comments below what your father did for you when you were if you're a disabled person. I would love to know that. And that's something that I wonder. What do other parents do? What do other disabled parents do or fathers do? Let me tell you, it is something to me. It is something I value. It is something that I think we should always think and value those memories. In closing, let me say thank you for listening to this episode of The Disabled Life. You can follow me on the following platforms. You can follow me at Good Pods. You can leave comments, messages there. You can also follow me on Twitter at The Disabled Guy. And you can also listen to me on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, and many others. Once again, thank you for listening, and I'll also give you my email. My email is Kilo Echo 4 Kilo Echo Yankee or KE4KEY@gmail.com. Once again, thank you, and thank you for your support, and I'll see you next week.